All right, welcome to DC to B Revolution, where chiropractic students are thinking big in order to live large. I'm Noah Volz, and today I'm super jazzed. I'm super excited. I have an opportunity to talk to Dr. Chris Zaino. He's done so much, so I can only give you a short synopsis of what he's done. Otherwise, I'd be talking for the full 15 minutes of the show. But to start it off, Dr. Chris Zaino is an international speaker, author, mindset expert, and director of Chiro Thought Leaders. The core premise of his work is that everybody is born with seeds of greatness and capable of heroic things if given the chance. Dr. Chris Zaino, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for that intro.
Yeah, my pleasure. I just try to make it short and sweet. I actually talked to Garrett Gunderson, who recommended that I talk to you because he said you have what it takes to be extremely successful. And so it sounded like, from what he told me, there was a moment in time that you decided to create one of the largest health and wellness clinics in the world. And so I'm just curious about what happened at that moment and what you did next.
So the moment was I was 3 years into practice, and things were okay. You know, we were struggling a little bit, and I went to the pavilion. You know, they have a pavilion here. There was a concert, and there was 10,000 people there. It was a Mercy Me concert, and I walked into that concert, and I saw all these people, and then I just felt it, just in the moment, this weird feeling that all these people were happy and enjoying the concert before it started with their families. And I felt like this burden that I knew something that these people didn't know when it comes to their health. And if they didn't know what I knew, that even though they're smiling today, those smiles are going to turn into tears as they suffer and live a life that they never were destined to have because it was cut short. And I broke down like a baby. I could not stop crying. My wife was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know." And in that moment, I realized that it was my soul was rotting because I didn't have the courage to tell the message the way I was supposed to. And then after that day, it was so impactful. And it was really a moment. It was a moment where I just left. I guess I always tell people it was the moment where my purpose was about to die, because I had just kind of suffocated for so long through school and education and trying to play the whole chiro game as far as insurance and all this stuff. So my soul, who I was created to be, was dying, and it was like its last attempt to break free. And I said, if I continue to shrink and numb this feeling of making an impact, it would die forever. And I just exploded from there. I made a decision. That's what happened. I think it all comes down to a decision. I made a decision that I'm going to try to reach every single person in my town. And I started doing dinners, once a month, once every 6 weeks. And, I grew from 600 a week to 2,600 a week in 19 months. I grew 2,000 visits in 19 months. And it was just because I can't, I could show you, my stuff's online. You could see my doctor's report. You could see my day one. Everything's out there for everybody to see. But I really realized it wasn't the words, was it? It was something inside. And so I pray that everybody gets that something to start. And I think the it factor is the pride and the calling and the ego, which is self-importance, to say what I do does matter. I am the best person to deliver this message. And then the thing you can't control is how hard you work to get that message out. And I think that equation equals success.
Yeah, I love that you reiterated that fact that you can give the best doctor's report, you can do the dinners after hours, you can do all the marketing, Facebook ads, whatever it is. But if you haven't made the decision, if you don't believe in what you're doing and that every person deserves that all that other stuff isn't going to bear fruit. So how do students who are still trying to figure out, where they are in this whole chiropractic world, start to really hone in on that purpose, as you did through that beautiful story that you shared?
Well, first, the problem was in the question. Everybody's trying to find their purpose. Check me out, Noah. So they're looking everywhere. They're looking under rocks. They're looking under books. They're looking under the next seminar. But what if I told you it's not on the outside? That it's not about looking for your purpose or finding it, that it was there the entire time. The hero was always there. It's just about you realizing that you're living a secret identity that was really brought upon us by schools, teachers, preachers, belief systems, being raised in the medical world. We put on this secret identity to conform and fit in. And then we go to school and we're told otherwise. We're not able to practice chiro and in the message, the free way we were created to, the way it was created to be taught. And so we put on a secret identity. So the thing is, when you wear a secret identity long enough, Noah, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to forget that you were the hero. You're going to think you were totally somebody else. So how do we break out of this secret identity? The first thing you have to do is you have to embrace the hero mindset. Then you have to maximize your superpowers, which is the gifts and the talents we have. So Noah, your gift and talent is the podcasting, right? I mean, look at this. Like, see, you don't see my podcast because I'm not a podcaster, but you see my videos. So we all have different talents and our different gifts. Some people are writers. Some people love audio. Some people are artists. Some people are musicians. So we have certain gifts and talents. That's the purpose of the hero or the chiro, is to find what is my unique gift and talent. So they need to find that, and everybody knows what it is. If you say you don't know, it's your secret identity trying to save its life. Everybody knows. Choose to remember. And then you got to find your vehicle of influence to serve the world. So Noah, your vehicle of influence is podcasting. I think you're great on video too. You're a wonderful speaker. So we have different vehicles. My vehicle of influence to serve the world is video and speaking. I rock at that. But I'm also good at writing and other things, but I'm not the best at it. So I delegate that stuff out. So I find my superhero. Every hero has a vehicle. Mine is speaking. Mine is writing. But the one thing, because it all starts with the hero mindset, that I will get everybody listening right now, my number one guaranteed most effective training tool I ever used in my entire life was this. I listen to audios all the time. That's it, audios. So I listen to, this would be a great podcast to listen to, thought leadership. So thought leadership and mentoring. A lot of students can't afford to pay Garrett Gunderson, right? Or but what you can is you can listen to his audios. I have audios of BJ Palmer, the old scratchy audios I got off eBay. I got Reggie Gold audios, Sid Williams audios, Sigafus audios, DE audios, DeMartini audios, and then I have all those audios playing, people who were so convicted. So these people had such conviction and pride in the profession, because why they had pride in the profession? They were so convicted because most of the old timers lost their license. Their practices got burnt down. They practiced without a license. They weren't even accredited. They had to fight for it. Their friends went to jail. So of course we're not going to be as powerful because we didn't have to fight for what we have. None of us fight, guys. We get to go to school. We get to be accepted by the public, but these people fought. So when you hear those people that are convicted and fighting and you listen to them every single day, even if it's 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, and you're listening to those, and if you want to take it a step further and actually start reading green books and start reading, Reggie Gold books and Fred Barnes books and Sigafus books, and I said the green books before, then when you start combining those two, the audios, though, for me, they played every day and they increased my certainty because I started getting the certainty of the speakers. I got the certainty of BJ. I got the certainty of Sigafus. I got the certainty of Fred Barge. I got the certainty of Reggie Gold. And so when you listen to those guys, you actually say what they say. And then when you start saying what they say, you literally start becoming as certain as they were. And that is, if a student starts that now and never stops, they will continue to evolve and become greater and greater every single day. My greatest tool I could tell anybody to do is the easiest thing to do, but it's also easy, Noah, not to do it. And all my friends that have done it, some of my friends, I would give them disk drives, hard drives of all my audios. I'm like, happy birthday, man. And 4 years later, they called me up, be like, you know what? I never listened to your stuff that you gave me, but I've been listening for 1 year, and I'm so upset that I wasted 4 years because you were so right the entire time. I brainwash myself with the truth. Just like we get brainwashed in public, brainwash yourself with the truth, and that'll set you free and allow you to be a very powerful person.
Yeah, that's so perfect. I feel like, the more that we can hear the message and the more we can be immersed in that certainty, then we can get out of whatever script we've been playing previously that's self-sabotaging us from really reaching that full potential, or as you put it, becoming a true hero in the greatest sense of that word. And so I wonder if there's any other kind of routines or rituals that have been with you, 10, 20, 30 years that you employ in order to keep yourself organized, in order to take all of that knowledge that you're extracting from those audios and put it into practice and put it into play. Do you have any recommendations along those lines?
I wish I could, because I could probably make a ton of money off students. But if you just take my word for it, and you just put your headphones on and you download, and you know what? I get it, guys. I'm not here to say don't copy each other's audios and, don't go on eBay and buy someone's audios. Dude, get the audios together, put them together, make a drive, and that's all you guys listen to. That's all I would play in my car. 1 day a week on Sundays, when I took my other car out, I would listen to music. But when I worked out, when I was in my car, my office is a mile away. It's not a long drive, but I'll be riding and I'll hear something that was, now watch this. When this happens 1,000 times and you realize it's a lot, that's why I'm very prideful about this, that I'll hear one line from Sid Williams or Sigafoose, and that one thing gets me to center again, right? So it's always, because we're always slipping and checking. We're always slipping. So when I hear that audio, it gets me focused. So the more times you can get me back to true north, I'm going to get to my destination faster, which is certainty and power. So the reason why someone's not doing well is because they have stuff in their head. They're in that secret identity. They're not certain. So even for 1 minute, it gets me back towards north, gets me towards north. And then when I go to the office, and the exact 30 seconds I heard on the way to the office was the exact 30 seconds that I needed to translate to a patient or use to communicate that night, then you start getting spooked out. You're like, wow, like this is fourth dimensional stuff right here. So these audios are talking to me, not only when I need it, but what I'm dealing with, and for people who I got to talk to later. So literally it became like life itself, and the audios became living and active in my life. I didn't write anything down because you listen to all the time, you become them. And when you become them, you could say the next sentence that the speaker's saying. And when you could get to that point, you're on your way. And that is now in you. It's not here. You listen to it long enough, it sinks in your heart. So I gave you but again, I'm telling you, as easy as it is to do, if 1% of you guys do this, which probably only 1% of you are, and it's probably going to be Noah, because he's got the freaking balls to even do something like this and put a podcast on when he's in school. The thing is, but like the 1% that do it, you're going to be the 1% that we're all going to talk about. We're all going to interview. You're going to be the 1% that's going to be financially free, the 1% that has amazing family, a huge practice in the middle of nowhere, and everybody's going to wonder why, and then everybody's going to call you a freak. They're going to call you that there's something special about you. But the thing is, you have the same talent, the same skills, and the same ability as anybody else. You just put the work in, and you were consistent over time. So I wish I could tell you there was the greatest seminar ever. But the problem with seminars are this. When you go to a seminar, you get motivated, and what happens? It drops 1 week later. So you're getting, for all you former drug addicts out there, it's like doing a bump, all right? So you're like doing a bump, and then it comes down. And for you purists out there, you probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but you're getting a high and then it drops, right? And then you get sped up again, it drops. You get motivated and it drops. So I said, well, why can't I live in that seminar moment daily? So that's when I started listening to audios, and every day I was having mini seminars. So I kept my inspiration high straight through. And then I built the capacity to get stronger and stronger. So it's not that I went to a bunch of seminars. I had a seminar every day in my car.
Yeah, I love this idea of these virtual mentors who, many of these people are not on this earth any longer, but listening to their words and allowing them to mentor you so that you start to think like they think and you start to reframe situations in the same way that they reframe situations. And I think about that with you. I mean, you've done so much. I mean, I just like am so in awe of what you do, and would love to know if you have any advice for students on how you pick the projects that you pick in order to launch, and then how do you make sure that those are successful? I know all of us really want to share our whole self, but you seem to do it flawlessly.
Which ones and like what products were you?
Like everything you've done with like the 15 minutes and the hero's journey, and even your written content. Even though you admitted that you mostly do the speaking and the video stuff.
Yeah, my written stuff gets transcribed, so it's still me. So that's great. So how did I get into this 15-minute fuel and the We Are Heroes and why it's successful? Because it starts with this. First of all, number one, I made a decision. So I wasn't into social media at all. If you looked at me 84 days ago, you would have been like, I was not even on social media. So what happened? I made a decision. If I'm 98% in, I'm average and common. But when I become 99 to 100% in, I become unstoppable. So I know myself, when I'm all in, Noah, I'm all in. That means we're doing a 15-minute fuel every single day, Facebook Live every single day. Go. The We Are Heroes. We've got the amazing Battleborn Media come out, and we do vlogs 3 days a week. So that's investing. So remember, we're not making any money from this. People think that there's something great's going to happen. Listen, great is happening. We're becoming transparent. And the reason why I did it, Noah, I'm doing it because if I didn't, I was going to just grieve my potential. What you're seeing is something birthed out of me becoming the hero I was created to be. I couldn't contain it just in chiropractic anymore. And I was mourning. I was depressed. Despite all my achievements, financial freedom, beautiful wife, 2 amazing children, all the health in the world, thousands of patients each week. What I did is my identity was found in my practice. My entire identity was wrapped up in being the chiropractor, Dr. Zaino. And that meant that for me, because I knew deep inside I had more potential, I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to be known and admired for someone who achieved great things and contributed to the world in a way that someone would think was impossible or never seen before. But because my identity was just becoming the doctor, that means when the practice did good, I was happy. When the practice was down, I was sad. So for me to venture out of chiropractic meant, what are my peers going to say? What are my patients going to say? And it would be going out of my lane and therefore out of my identity, because I had a false identity of that was who I am, not who I was created to be, the hero. And so all I did was I shrunk and I mourned. And when you realize that you're living half your potential, therefore a half a life, the other half of your life and potential will torment you forever. So I was living in torment. So the whole time when I was feeling as great a success I was grieving my potential the entire time. And I decided to embrace my hero and to give this message out to the world through video and through talking. And that's what I'm doing right now. And that's what I'll continue to do for the rest of my life. So you're asking, why am I successful? Because Noah, it got to a point in my life that I either went for it or my soul would rot and die in this body. And I refused to let that happen. So I had to do it. So when you get to the point where the mission is so much bigger than you that you're willing to give it all away to move forward, than to be comfortable and satisfied and tormented, that's when you see something successful. So it's made that decision. So, and right now it's happening. We're in the moment of it. My patients, you should see all the patients complaining that I'm out of the office or someone else is adjusting them. And all that is, I refuse to let that affect me anymore, because that's my identity is no longer Dr. Zaino, the chiropractor. My identity is who I was created to be, the hero. For those that are sleepwalking through life, living their secret identity, I exist to wake them up and reconnect them with their genius, their greatness, and their buried hero. And for those of you who are awake, I provide a powerful, inspirational experience to reconnect you to embrace your hero mindset, to maximize your superpowers, and to choose your vehicle of influence to serve the world. Because I believe all of us were born with seeds of greatness and we're capable of doing heroic things. And when I tell you that is in every one of my 70 trillion cells, and that's what every one of my cells are vibrating, that's why I'm successful. That's the level you have to get at. And that's the level that makes you unstoppable.
I'm so grateful that you, not that you hit rock bottom, but that you were able to, you know, see the self-limiting identity that you've created for yourself, and you were able to break through that. And in the process of doing that, we're able to learn how to help others do that same thing. I know, you know, me and many other students I talk to around school, like the self-limiting beliefs that we carry because of culture, because of, you know, we've been socialized to believe them, and to know that there's somebody out there who's actually, you know, moved through that and broken through that and learned enough along the way to teach others is, yeah, it's profound. So thank you for that.
No problem, man. My goal is, the reason why we're doing it live and documenting the whole journey is, if you watch the We Are Heroes, you know, if you watch the We Are Heroes programs, you'll see that it's live. I mean, it's documented in real life. And the reason why I did it is so I could leave a blueprint, so you could say, hey, he's doing it, so you could give yourself permission to do it as well. So I'm taking the risk so you could come and follow.
Yeah, thanks for taking that risk. So I just wanted to ask one more question, and then we'll close it out. But, you know, in my mind, you're the mindset guy. You know, you teach people how to have this mindset that helps them achieve their goals and helps them be heroic. Can you know, let students kind of glimpse into that mindset just slightly and figure out how, you know, what's the best way for them to start working towards that mindset while they're in school?
Well, the mindset happens, first of all, you got to reverse engineer what they want. So if they want to work for themselves and have a practice, right? And how's the practice going to look? What's it look like? Just envision it, write it down. What's that look like, and reverse engineer it. And then, instead of worrying about cell biology and the 122 orthopedic tests you got to memorize, start actually learning what it's going to take to run a successful practice. That's where, if you're a student, go out and apprentice. Work for an office. Don't work for an office to work for an office. Work for an office that has the same values of you. So I wouldn't work at a PI clinic, right? Because that's not the way I want to practice. I want to work at a wellness clinic that helps people, you know, in all families. So you find the type practice that models your core values, and you apprentice them. Work for them for free, because you're giving them value, and then in the experience of it, you're learning truly how to become successful. And when you learn how successful practices run, your confidence goes through the roof. So there's no scarcity. There's no fear of what if. You know, coming out, you know exactly what to do. And you know what? You just pass your boards. Get through your boards, get your piece of paper, but that piece of paper, for your information, nothing magical happens. You graduate with debt, and you have no way of actually running a practice, sustaining it, providing it, marketing it. So in the meantime, put in the hustle, go to school and clinic, and in your off hours or on your weekends, go work for a practice that is practicing very similar. I'm not going to say exactly like the way you want, because it shouldn't be exactly the way you want, because your practice has to be an extension of you and your values. But find one really close to the way you want it. Learn the business, the experience, how this thing really works in real life. Learn that, and that will get you. That, my wife and I traveled to the best offices in the country to model. We absorbed what was useful, we discarded what wasn't, and we made it uniquely our own. And I graduated in September 2005, and we opened the doors in October 2005. Why? Because we didn't learn how to practice in a month. My wife worked for a chiropractor for 2 years. On my breaks, we would go to different offices. So the last 2 years of school, we learned from the top offices how to build a business. So all it was my wife was waiting for me to get that piece of paper and then throw that hat in the air when I graduated. And then we could finally start living our lives and truly become the doctor I was created to be. And yes, school was great. School gave me the opportunity to get the piece of paper I needed, but I sure as hell was not going to let school dictate and tell me how to become successful, because I knew I would have been a failure. So that's why I went outside of that, did my own work with my wife. Or you don't need a wife to do it, but she was great to have. And you know what? I found out really how to practice. So if you try one, I would get in the groove. I would get 3.5 years of working and apprenticing at another office to learn how to really rock and roll and become amazing at it. So when you graduate and get the piece of paper, now you have the permission now to go and rock it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hear that advice over and over with all the really highly successful people that I have the opportunity to interview here on the channel. And so I'm doing that currently with an office that I admire and really want to model my authentic practice after. And so really grateful for that. So I know that, besides wanting to come and apprentice you, I know students are going to want to get in touch with you and learn about everything that you're up to. So if you could share a few simple ways for students to follow along in your footsteps, that would be awesome.
Okay, well, I put together something for you guys, because you said I'm the mindset guy. So I developed a 1 month to win course. It's called 1 month to win. It's free for you guys. It's an entire internet course of videos and text along with that. And all you have to do is you have to text, get on your phone and text to the number 281-940-3517. You text WIN, W-I-N. Text that WIN. Is it all uppercase?
I don't think it matters.
Just WIN. Try it. So again, it's 281-940-3517. Text WIN, and you'll get my 1 month to win internet program I have for you guys on me. And that is 20 principles of winning. You'll get 5 a week, 20 principles of winning that I could definitely say for myself and some of the top leaders I've interviewed and I read, this is it. And they'll give you the mindset, because it starts with the mindset. You have everything you need. You're already worthy and fully equipped of everything. That's why it's not about getting something, but I guarantee this month it'll awaken and reveal what was there the whole entire time. So I want you to be able to get that. Also, just go on Facebook and check me out. Go to my fan page, Dr. Zaino, Z as in zebra, A-I-N, N as in Nancy, O. And that's when you'll be able to see the We Are Heroes and 15-minute fuels. And of course, on YouTube, Chris Zaino, and you get to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm very active on social media. So all the social media, SoundCloud, all that stuff, you name it, it's Dr. Zaino. And be engaged. But here's the thing. I can't help you if you don't comment or if you don't engage. So don't just subscribe to me or follow me and watch my stuff. Like, I want you to engage on the comments, because it's just not me helping you. It's all the other studs and studettes that are also part of the tribe that could reach out and give you opportunity. When you reach out and you ask and you make an effort, that's when opportunity opens up for you. So I highly just don't subscribe and enjoy and soak it in. Of course, do that, but take action and be engaged, and great things will happen, I guarantee.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Chris Zaino. This has been a production of DC2B Revolution, helping chiropractic students think big in order to live large. I'm Noah Volz, and yes, please subscribe to my channel as well. And like Dr. Zaino said, get engaged, make some comments, build community. Let's remove the apathy that is in chiropractic together and really start to help each other out and really make a huge impact and live our own heroic journey. Dr. Chris Zaino, thanks again for being here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thanks, Noah.